Hi everyone, I'm Dave Mulvaney. I'm here with Dan Schultz to my left, Mike Govitt to my right. We're going to be recapping this past week's games in the A Division. First up, we have Rock Nation versus the Best Squad. The Best Squad continues to dominate. Are they the best team in the A Division right now?
Without Derek.
Without Derek. Derek hasn't played yet, so until he does, I'm not even going to include him in their team.
Right. Will, another big game, 29 points, 12 rebounds.
You look at Rock Nation, and I mean,
it's the same as always with them.
Well, this time it was just Darren Allen.
Yeah,
no help from anybody else.
Darren Allen has 32 points, no one else helps him out.
32 is a pretty nice game, though. 13 and 19 shooting, 3 or 4 from the 3. 10 rebounds.
You just got to have more. You got to have more scores on that. You just have to have more offensive players on that team. One guy getting 32 points and no one else in double figures.
If Julius has the game he usually has, do they win this game?
No, because that's only 2
I'm not sure. I wasn't at this game. I didn't see the intensity level that Best Squad was playing with. I mean, you were here. Were they coasting at the end, or were they?
They weren't
Huh?
coasting because it wasn't like it was out of hand all game. The Best Squad, they had to work to get the win. But it's not like they could just coast to the end. Like it was an easy win for them.
Well, I think the key for the Best Squad is probably Adam Ager. I mean, he plays really well. I mean, they're I don't want to say virtually unbeatable, but they're really, really difficult to beat.
And I heard one of them say after the game, he said that their team said, way to put them away, which indicates it being close most of the game. And they finally put them away towards the end.
Yep. Dan, I won't even ask Mike because I know how biased he is when it comes to this. But Derek Savage, does he remind you a little bit of Lawrence Hines with the way he hasn't been showing up this season?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He just feels like he just shows up when he wants to. I mean, you're committed to a team. I don't care if you have work. This is the Hackensaw Basketball League. This is the most important thing on a Sunday. Okay? You got to be here no matter what. I don't care if it's something family related or work related. This is the most important thing in your life. You should be here every week.
What if his niece is still bothering him?
Well, I mean, if he's trying to get healthy, well, no, they don't need him right now if they're winning. But is he trying to get healthy for later in the season? That's okay. But we don't know.
Look at Dwayne Wade. He barely played all this season. Now look at him, playing at a high level in the playoffs.
Oh, good.
What? Next up, let's stick with Hackford. We'll debate all NBA playoff championship matchups.
You can compare him to that. Barely playing the regular season.
So WSI versus Air 5. Is that what you have next?
No, check on the back of that sheet. It's ACC versus Run and Gun.
I knew that.
ACCA versus Run and Gun. ACC had a very, very hot week in the Hackensaw Basketball League.
5 guys in double figures?
Well, their A Division team and their B Division team won. Put up 104 points.
So Run and Gun is saying true to their name where they can score 77 points but play absolutely no defense, huh?
That's what it looks like to me.
A team shot 40 for 73? Are you kidding me?
The Wilkinson brothers for Run and Gun had it. You got to give props to them. They came to play.
Yeah, they
29 for Kyle and 22 for Brandon.
Yeah, they need to probably add a couple more Wilkinsons to their team.
Yeah.
They just need to play defense. Holy cow.
What if we had a Team Wilkinson versus Team McCusker?
I'm going Team Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Team McCusker is completely overrated.
Yeah, I mean, you got 6 guys in double figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 104 points. 40 for 73 shooting from the field. Yeah, Run and Gun, you're still good offensively. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you guys had 4 guys in double figures too, but play a little defense. I mean, that probably would help you out a lot, especially not getting blown out.
They only had 5 guys there. That wears on you.
Speaking of play a little, did Derek Henry only play a little? 10 points, only 4 rebounds?
I saw him. I actually did see him holding his bag on the sideline with like 8 minutes left to go.
So maybe he was just like, you know what, my work here is done.
Yeah.
So I'll give Derek a pass this week since the game was all locked up.
Give him a pass.
Well, last season, all of Toon Squad's games were close. So if he didn't put up numbers, I knew he was in the game.
All right.
But ACC.
Are they a team to be reckoned with this season?
ACC?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They can win this
Absolutely.
thing?
Yeah, they have a chip on their shoulder. They're definitely playing with a chip on their shoulder.
We'll see about that.
Next up, we have WSI versus Air 5. Who Air 5, I have to check the pictures. They have new shirts, so I got to check if they're changing their name. It was a concrete company, I believe. So as soon as we get that, we'll announce that name on here. But for now, it's Air 5.
We didn't have very accurate stats because I guess they all wore different numbers or something like that. John.
Yeah, we got to get those numbers updated. It's hard if we don't have all that information before the game starts. But WSI,
I'm back on the wagon.
no,
Mike,
you're not allowed to be back on the wagon.
I told Mike yesterday on Facebook, I'm back on the wagon.
Did he accept it?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I hopped
yeah,
on.
yeah,
They
yeah.
saved room for me. I was only off for one game.
That's all it takes.
And when I jumped off, they win a game.
Maybe you should stay off.
No.
You should probably
I'm back
stay.
on. Mike, I'm back on. How'd Jeremy Jean do?
You probably don't want to look at that. Ford, who was an all-star caliber player last season, made the all-star game, 16 points. I feel like he always starts off real hot to get
Shot
that
over
all-star game.
50% from the field.
Yeah, he's a good shooter.
I'm saying as a team.
No, I thought you were just talking about him. Will Townsville with 14 points. RJ, big pickup to their team this season with 13. Mike Boyd with 14, but I'm a little concerned about Mike Boyd's 20 shots.
That's alright, they got the win now.
It is all right, but it concerns me a little bit. So Mike maybe needs to share the ball a little more. What do you think, Dan?
Well, 6 for 20, 2 for 9 shooting from outside. I think, especially as a three-point shooter myself, if you're not hitting threes, take it inside more and see if you can get fouled. He didn't even get to the line once. Like,
You
gotta-
don't need to.
You always need to try and get to
No. Not when you're WSI and you're here to win.
Well, WSI did this even without their big man, Babette Vasquez. Even without him. Now I look at Air 5. You see here, Tyre with 16. I'm not even sure if, I think we did have Taekwon's numbers with 11. Outside that, some of the numbers might have been mixed in there. But they looked frustrated after the game. They're coming off a big win. We even have them posting stuff where they thought they were up there with the shooters clubs and the drunk monkeys of the world.
Yeah,
But
get down a little off that high horse.
I think they'll probably be a little humbled after this game.
Only time will tell.
But
They can make some additions.
they could make some moves.
Mesh better together.
So I'm sure Tyre, first time being a captain in the league, I'm sure he'll make the right decisions for the team. Next up, we have the Hurricanes versus the Crew. Final score 53-34 in favor of the Crew. Not one of our greatest offensive performances from the Hurricanes. I mean, not the Crew either, but still the Crew wins by almost 20
Yeah, I'm used to
points.
the Crew putting up 70, 80 points a game. Maybe they're retired this weekend. Long weekend?
Should the Hurricanes maybe just be happy they didn't get mercy ruled by the Crew?
I think so. I mean, I gotta see more from Al Walker though.
He showed up late too. Showed up a few minutes late.
Come on, twin. Really?
You got to start wondering about that occasion when you see players running late.
Yeah, definitely. I said this is the most important thing on a Sunday. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I mean the Hurricane. Only one guy double figures with Brian Smith who had a good game, 14 points, 3 rebounds. But yeah, more often, especially in the A division. I mean, this 34 points is kind of like reminiscent of Team Us from a season or two ago. You need to get that point total up, especially if you're going to hang in the A division. Where the average, I mean, you can maybe get away with winning with 50 or 60 points. 34 is not going to get it done.
Does anyone share the ball as well as the Crew does?
I don't know. I'd have to take a look around the league. They do spread out their scoring.
They have 4 or 5 guys that could score.
Well, when Derek Savage is there, I would say probably the best squad, but he's not there, so maybe
But,
it
I mean,
is.
They
the
have-
drunk monkey shares it between 3 people.
There's 5 on the team.
That's a good point.
I was just,
They have 4 or 5 guys that could score 20 to 25 a game if they wanted, but instead they have everyone scoring 8 to 15 a game.
yeah, and the Crew, it looked like some of their top players were on the bench for a lot of this game, just kind of, they're just relaxing this week, I think.
Take the
So,
week off. Next week, they're gonna score 100 next week. 100 points, I'm calling it right now.
I have to see where they're playing before I
I
can.
think they play
No,
the
they're
best
playing-
squad.
I think they're playing Drop Monkey right now. Best squad. Sure.
Yep.
And you think they're going to score 100?
Yep.
It's disrespectful to the best squad's
It's
defense.
gonna be a 198 game.
Now you look at the Hurricane squad, and you have Ryan Smith with 14, but not much help. Are we going to credit the Crew's defense?
You can credit that,
Yes,
but
they play good D.
you can credit that.
They always play
definitely.
good D. That's one thing they do.
That's
They
one
do.
thing
They do a lot of
Do
things.
do.
Here he goes again with his potty talk.
What is with it? Okay.
Next up,
Do calm. Do.
we have Flight Skin versus GSU, and all right, Flight Skin won this game by 1 point. GSU controlled the game the whole first half. Flight Skin showed the ability to battle back, get back in this game, led by Danny Rodriguez.
Yeah, another big one. 19 and 13.
Listen, I don't want it to stop there. 6 assists, 13 rebounds.
Eh,
You said he couldn't play down low. Look at him grabbing all those boards.
7 for 20 though.
You
almost
woke
33.
a sleeping giant,
That's almost-
Dan.
7 for 20 is 33% shooting from the field. It's not the best shooting percentage. 3 for 10, it's 30% shooting from 3. If anything, he nearly costed Flight Skin this game.
He got them back in it. I watched this game, Dan. He got them back in it. Danny is the engine on this team. He's the engine. All right, and the whole team knows it.
The shot taking engine.
No, the scoring engine, the rebounding engine, the assist engine. 19 points, 6 assists. How many points does that mean? At least that he was responsible for it.
I don't know. I'm not good with that.
At least 31 points. Come on, Dan, you're better than that. At least 31 points.
Listen, I hope this is his last season.
If you look,
I hope he
no,
He's
no.
showing you how
Oh
it's
my
done
gosh.
on the court. And once he shows you how it's done one-on-one,
Danny's been used to playing where he was, when he first came in the league, he was the number 1 option. And then he played with Shooters Club where, they had their 3 or even 4-headed monster between him, Eddie, Jake. I almost said Mark London. That would have been a joke, though. But, he came in with all these other scorers. He didn't have to do it all. So he's reacclimating himself to being a top scorer again. He can drop 50 a game if he wanted to. If he wanted to. He chooses to get his team involved. I call him, maybe not as quick, but I call him the Hacks version of Allen Iverson. Now we look at GSU. Where to start? Blake Rubenstein, 22 points. Brandon Fox, 22 points. Maurice, 11. I was told that he could get 20 plus every game whenever they felt like
can.
it. But it's not his fault. It's RT's fault. RT clearly did not have his head in the game.
what was RT, 1 rebound away from the triple-double last week?
Yeah.
Throws up a dud?
And, as soon as I see him, all he's doing is just giving me excuse after excuse of why he has no business being on the court today.
Well,
That's all it is.
should we give him a pass?
No, because they lost.
You get 1 Dewey pass, right?
Well, he might have had a pass to Dewey, but I don't know if I'm going to give him a pass for this game.
I'll give you a pass.
This game,
RT.
I believe it
I'll
was
give him a
played
pass.
at like 6 o'clock or something like that. At least, yes, played at probably 6 o'clock, and you need to be recovered by it at that point. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything to say about
You said it
GSU?
all. You said it all.
I'm
So-
giving him a pass. He's going to have a big game next week. Big game. And they're going to win by like 20.
I had high hopes for
At the
GSU
hands
at the start of the
of
season.
RT.
I had high hopes
I
for
still
them.
have
They
high
lost
hopes.
to the best squad the first week. Okay, fine. But Flight Skin got destroyed last week. The other
You
team
said
put
it
up
yourself
100.
they were missing 3,
Oh,
4
yeah,
players.
correct.
All right. So they got their 3, 4 players and now look at
No, they're still missing some players. I just can't believe you guys picked against Flight Skin, though. I can't believe you guys picked against Flight Skin.
You know,
All the information I gave you.
I wrote my power rankings for the A division. It's up on the boards. Now, with all this power that Danny has, after scoring and assisting and rebounding, you would think he would have the power, the ability to change that awful name.
No, Danny has fully bought in to what Flightskin is trying to do. And first of all, one more thing before, first of all, this game ended on a last-second foul shot. Flightskin got fouled at the end of the game. You know, you hate to see a game end that way. I can't even remember who it was. On the line, he's got 2 free throws. If I had to guess, I'm not even gonna guess because I'll just guess the wrong name. But has to take 2 free throws, misses the first one. The crowd is just completely silent, just waiting to see what's going to happen, and then he sinks that last shot and ends the game. And GSU was unhappy because they couldn't all stay on the in the lane and heckle him while he was shooting his free throws because the clock had run out. They were because that's RT's. Yeah. That's probably the strongest part of his game is heckling. Some call trash talking. I call heckling.
He's good at that.
That's a good scouting report on him.
But before we move on to the next game. The person who I'm not going to let go overlooked in this game is Brian Dorsey. If he didn't have his 2 points, they lose by 1.
Can we talk about, I know they lost, but Brandon Fox and Blake Rubenstein?
I mentioned they had 22 each.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I didn't hear you. I thought you were disrespecting them.
No, I mentioned their names.
We give credit where credit's due, whether you lose.
You just pulled a Dave. I usually always do that after Dan 7.
What?
Just pulled a Dave. I usually always run a stat line down after.
Next. Sick with it already.
You guys done over there?
Next up, we have the Tigers versus Here we go again. And I think that's what everyone was saying when there was 2 or 3 players from that team out on the court. They're saying, man, here we go again. We don't have enough players.
This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Why?
Here we go again was down 8 or 10 nothing.
Why even have a team?
Enough players there.
Why even have a team? Seriously, why even have a team if you're not going to show up? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Because there's a little bit of slack here. They're one of the best teams in our league.
There was something going on in Westchester where they had to go the long way.
Well, I don't care.
Did you check traffic patterns before the game? Because I know they didn't.
Yeah, obviously they didn't. Well, still, even to have 5 guys. Okay, so you're saying, all right, they started out the game with 4 guys or 3 or whatever. To have only 5 guys show up is ridiculous. I don't care what team you are. I don't care if you're Here we go again, your Flightskin, whatever team. Okay? You need to have at least 6 or 7 guys because that's unfair to the 5 guys because they need a break every once in a while.
Sometimes people have things to do.
Doesn't matter. It's ridiculous that they've done
get
this
caught in
again.
traffic. Or you ever been late in your life?
No.
Something.
I'm always on time. I have a teleporter in my car. If I'm running late, I just jump in that road.
I think I've witnessed you being late a few times.
I've never been late there.
So it happens. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm saying though, even if
this team will still be here in the end.
Let's take a look at the Tigers.
They're a good team too. Really good team.
Oh, they're a top team. They're a top team.
Really
they had a close game with ACC the first week, and they were missing some players. I'm not taking anything away from ACC from that week, but Quanah Chase, 18 points. I would like him to be serving up his double doubles on a weekly basis. Brock Anderson, 16 points. And then you have Marky D with 13 points. So solid games by them. Anything about Stacy this week, Dan, or are you going to leave them alone?
I'll leave them alone.
They won the game. You will leave them alone.
Wait. 2 for 6.
Marky D wasn't here first.
He did have,
So they gave it to the wrong person?
Yeah.
He did have 2 turnovers, Stacy.
Kendall was here. Maybe it's Kendall's style on.
Yeah, Kendall.
We apologize. We're going to look into getting that fixed.
See, we get John to do one thing. We can't figure it out.
Tell you what, we're going to have to talk with him. Yeah, Brendan O'Brien, 18 points.
Jake Royal, no
Darrell
show.
Lewis, 17. Maybe.
Jake Royal, no show.
Maybe he got caught in the traffic and didn't get out.
Then he leaves his car behind him and he runs here. I don't care what you have to do. You get to the game.
Next up, we have Drunk Monkeys versus Brothers. Drunk Monkeys, even without their full roster, all they do is win. 40, 50, 60, 70 games straight. I don't know what it is at this point.
I think I had them going down this weekend. They almost did.
But they didn't.
Yeah, but they almost did.
I watched it. They control
So
this
that
whole
means
game.
it's
They
coming.
control this whole game. Brothers made a run at the end. You look here. AJ
coming
continues
soon.
to be Brothers' top scorer. David Todd chipped in with 10 points. But you look over here, Brandon Tunnel, 24 points. And from watching the video, it looked like he dominated this game.
Well, he's that type of player where he can do that. But it's common, I'm telling you.
What is with players not showing up this week? Is there something going on that I wasn't
It's the
aware of?
summertime, Dan. It's summertime.
This is mid-season. We're in the second week of the season.
Dan,
Can't be taking vacations.
Dan, just before the show started, you were talking about considering going to see a Spurs game. You will probably miss a game that week.
Probably not because I'll be there for 2 days.
But-
I know how important the city is.
But you've missed a game before because of it, Dan.
You missed
When?
the championship game, if I remember.
Didn't last year?
That was a
Did
fit,
you
that
go to
was
the
not my
Spurs game
call.
last year? That was 2 years
2
ago.
years ago.
So you
You
missed,
just-
but you missed the game though. I think.
just
pretty,
told-
pretty confident.
Who'd you just tell, Derek? About, doesn't matter what it's about. Not your call, family, whatever it is. You said it's not.
Those rules don't pertain to me, okay? There are certain exceptions, and I'm probably the one exception to that. Let's not get it. Why are you
We're
making
trying to
this
get
all
you
about me?
a little more
Why are you
understanding.
making this all about
A little
me?
more
This is about the
understanding.
Hag League. I'm looking out for the league.
More
You're making this
importantly,
all about me.
where was Lawrence? Oh, here
Where do
he
you
goes
think he
again.
was?
Here he
Where do
goes
you
again.
think he was? This is typical Larry. How many times do I gotta say it? This is typical Larry. Doesn't show up when his team's in trouble, and his team barely escaped. They're like the Miami Heat. They get bailed out at the last second.
Well, I was watching some of the video, and Steve Lee started this game with an impressive layup, which I'm going to have some highlights from it up later. No, he took the ball coast to coast. Dan, take it a little more serious over there. He took the ball coast to coast. He set the tempo.
Just the way you
this
said
game.
it, an impressive layup. I just
He
never-
took it off. I mean, it wasn't just a little easy layup. It was
Okay.
coast to coast. All right.
All right. Well, Brandon Tunnel again led the way for them. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. 2
Mike
steals.
Pettiford Tiger had a couple impressive blocks. One, he looked like he had his whole half his arm above the rim to block it. It wasn't goaltending either. It was on the layup. Great block. I think I have a highlight of that too that I'll be posting later.
So he did Ibaka it.
How
The
did I know
box
that?
cleaned it
How
up.
did I know that was coming? I
He just
had a
waits for
feeling
stuff like that.
was coming.
That's going to wrap up our video this week for the A Division. The recaps. We'll have our preview video up soon as well. So stay tuned for that. Dan, anything from you?
I got nothing.
No go Spurs or anything?
Oh, go Spurs! Yeah, in the finals again. Been saying it all
Against
year.
You should have been wearing a Miami Heat hat.
Against two. The two-time defending
That just
champ.
happened.
LeBron James.
Why aren't you wearing a Heat hat?
We're gonna let that roll.
I
on
do need
camera.
to wear a Heat hat. I'm wearing my Heat colors, man.
Enough said. All right, thanks for checking us out.
Heat and 6.
Back at it this week, week 3.
Spurs and
Week
5.
3 Sunday. We'll see everyone on Sunday.